Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and I think we're set to go.
Okay, I'd like to call this town board meeting for January 25th, 2021 to order at 7:03 p.m. As always, we will start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you could all please join me, rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Excuse me one sec. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. We are in receipt of the minutes from our last meeting. Again, I don't have the packet open in front of me. That was from...
Hold on a second. January 11th.
January 11th.
I believe we all had them and were able to review them.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the January 11th meeting. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
And any discussion or need to make any additions or edits?
No, not for me.
This will be the no. This will be the yes. No, no.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay, good. Thank you, Michelle. Okay, I'll take a roll call vote. I'll start with Dave McMillan,
Aye.
Michelle Lindsay,
Aye.
Maria May,
Aye.
Jay Reichcott,
Aye.
and myself, Ken English, aye. Unanimous acceptance of the minutes from January 12th. Maria, I think we'll launch right into those vouchers. If you could read the, like to make a, Maria, you can make the motion. I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
I make a motion that the following vouchers have been audited by the town board and are hereby approved for payment. Do I have to tell the numbers?
Yes, please.
The voucher range is 201-291-7889 to 201-291-7964 with voucher 201-291-7901, which was run off cycle to facilitate payment on grant money received. Do I have a second?
So moved.
To the
Roll
roll
call.
call. Yep. Thank you.
Supervisor Ken.
I have a question.
Discussion?
Yeah, sorry. The sheet that I have in front of me says the last number ends in 963, not 964.
Oh, sorry.
Is it?
Did I say it incorrectly? It's
I don't know.
201.
That's my question.
Yeah, 201-291-7963.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, thank you.
I believe you can do the roll call now, Maria.
Okay. Ken,
Aye.
Michelle,
Aye.
David,
Aye.
Jay,
Aye.
and Maria. Aye.
Okay, next on the agenda is the supervisor update and town board update.
I'm going to defer to the town board at this point. Please go ahead.
Well, I'll just repeat that, it's been a busy month of webinars on climate smart community initiatives, which I've attended. And our next meeting of the joint climate smart community task force with the village is on February 1st, next Monday at 5:30. So I will post that on the website as to how you can participate and join the group.
Good.
Other board members?
Nothing significant for me. Thank you.
Me neither.
Jay?
Nothing huge. No, it's been kind of a slow week around here.
A good thing.
Okay, so I would like to update the town. On January 21st, the Tuxedo Farms LDC, of which myself, Jay Reichcott, and Michelle Lindsay are members, held a meeting, a public meeting. The key invited guest was Andrew Dance from the Related Group. The meeting was a follow-up to our resolution to chart a path forward to opening up the new sewer plant, since 2015, actually. It was a cordial conversation. It was determined that the potential to open the sewer plant could be reached by our goal, but Mr. Dance is promised to be presenting to the town and the town board a revised model for Tuxedo Farms. And so the Tuxedo Farms LDC scheduled its next meeting for February 17th at 10 a.m. And we look forward to hearing more about the potential for Tuxedo Farms development and hopefully a path forward to the completion of the Tuxedo Farms wastewater treatment plant. So we continue to work diligently on that very, very important project. Michelle Lindsay and I continue to work with our town attorney from Jacob Woods and Gubitz, Howard Prater, and our labor relation consultant, Michael Richardson, meeting with the Tuxedo PBA to come to an agreement on a new contract collective bargaining agreement for the Tuxedo Police. And we have a follow-up meeting tomorrow at 2 p.m. that is not open to the public, but we plan on continuing our discussions and hopefully come to a successful agreement to move our contract talks forward. So those are the two biggies, which are real biggies for the town. And I'll end with those. Thank you. I believe we're ready to move down to our presentation. I would let you know we had a discussion planned for from representatives from the Watchtower. That was a discussion about potential help in our cleanup of the Long Meadow Road property. I asked for that to be tabled. We're awaiting some information from consultants related to the soil testing that needs to happen. And so I spoke with a representative from the Watchtower and asked them if we could reschedule that, hopefully for the next meeting. So that item has been tabled for tonight, which brings us to our presentation. I see we have our representatives from Beckman Appraisals and our town assessor, Jim Davies. And I'd like to open the floor to Jim Davies to just give a brief overview of the appraisal processes through his office and maybe introduce the Beckman Group. So Jim, please go ahead. Thank you.
You ought to be able to, okay. Jim, you should be able to unmute yourself. There you go.
Yep. Okay, so the state land study was completed within the past few weeks after review. It's looking close to the ratables that we're seeing is kind of what we expected. The numbers still have to go up to the state land unit at the Office of Real Property in Albany, and they do have to be approved. Mr. Beckman is here to do a quick overview of the study.
Okay, Mr. Beckman, you can unmute yourself. There you go.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, as we all know, just to a quick review, parkland in Tuxedo owned by the state of New York is taxable. The land value only, no improvements. And it's kind of a long story going back to 219. The town of Tuxedo in 219 had an assessment on the property of about $25.7 million or $1,191 per acre. And that equates out to a full value of about $156 million or $7,200 an acre. Jim and I met when we started the project and we looked at other areas of the county and adjoining county in Rockland, and we found much higher values there. So our final values this year that we put on the property comes out to about $11,000 per acre, which is a large increase. Jim already has put in $10 million of it, and we have another $4 million that's going to be going into the state for final approval. So we had a very large increase over the last 2 years of about, it's going to be about $14 million, in between $13 and $14 million, which gives a very, very good benefit to the town. Jim asked me to put together some numbers. Roughly for the town, including special districts, it will generate about $200,000 in new revenue if we use last year's tax rates. And to the Woodbury School District, it's going to generate an addition for this year of another $420,000. The Suffern School District and the North Rockland School District, that's a break even, not much money there. And the Tuxedo Union Free School District, about an increase of about $80,000. So that's the bottom line results from the additional new value on the site. So that's it in a nutshell. It's a pretty thick report that you can go through parcel by parcel, how we valued each parcel, and that's the summation of the that's the conclusion of the value. So basically, we're up from $7,200 an acre up to about $11,000 an acre, and we have the ability to go forward as things change because we produced a very good inventory for the town of Tuxedo. Any questions?
Can you explain, it's Michelle, just the impact on the school taxes again?
Okay, the school taxes, I was asked to break it down between a couple school districts. The addition for next year, there was an addition last year, but the addition for next year is about $200,000, I'm sorry, $420,000 to the Monroe Woodbury School District and $80,000 to the Tuxedo School District.
Okay, so this just then is a more fair distribution of the taxes among the taxpayers.
What we did is each parcel is located in a different school district. So where we had most of the school district value is out of the $25 million value in the entire town. Okay, you have like $16 million and it started 219, which was in Monroe Woodbury. Now with the school rate, we're up to about $35 million, where $23 million is going to be in the town of Woodbury. So from last year to this year, there's an increase of $420,000 in revenue, and the year before there was a substantial increase.
Bill, I have a question, Dave McMillan. Can you go into some sort of detail about the next steps? I mean, you said we had to file this report with an agency. Could you identify that agency and tell us what the next steps would be, and if there could be any issues with the state accepting or rejecting?
Okay. Well, New York State, we can always have issues with. We have the appraisal. We'll submit it to New York State. They have it's the Office of Real Property. and they have a tax unit strictly for state-owned lands, and they're going to review all the assessments that were given to them and the additions that we're requesting on a parcel by parcel basis. And there's always some give and take going back and forth with the individual assessments. And in general, though, my experience has been nobody has really done the work that we've done that substantiates the assessments. Before GIS, the type of work that you see in this report was impossible to do. We went into each parcel, we have topography, we have what wetlands there are, we have the easements on the property, and it's a very detailed report, and I believe it's going to support the assessments for the town of Tuxedo. And we have prior experience in other towns in Rockland County where we've done similar work where the state has accepted it. Sometimes they don't accept 100%, they'll accept 90%. They may go back and forth on a couple of parcels, but in general, with the work that we've done, the state hasn't even done the amount of work that we've done on the parcels. We know more about the parcels than the state does. That's the taxpayer right now. They have their own antiquated system that was developed back in the 80s. And basically, what we have done using the GIS is we've identified on each parcel what property is good, what property is totally useless, and have valued each of them. And we did overlays of the zoning and everything else on the parcels where the state hasn't done that yet. They have an antiquated inventory system, and that's our advantage right now. And you can see on each parcel in the appraisal, the amount of work we did for each parcel.
It was a very extensive document. Thank you for your work, and it was something that we needed to do. So this is positive for us, and we'll take what we can get in the approval process.
Absolutely. And just to say, it's been remarkable what Jim has done. He listened and we followed through on everything. We brought the assessment from 25 million, and it's going to probably hit close to 40 million. I would say 38 million, maybe 37 million. So that's the 2-year process that we've gone through, that we've got some benefits so far, and we'll reap some more benefits going future on this project.
Okay, thank you. And Jim Davies, thanks to you also for your hard work on this. Much appreciated.
So, Mr. Beckman, this is Ken English, Town Supervisor. Did any parcels actually, as a result of your investigation, lose value according to what they were assessed at?
Yes, we have a schedule that Jim has. Some went up, some went down, some stayed the same. And we're going to push to get the properties that go up added. But overall, there was an increase in value, though.
I would think that would add a lot of credence to a report that showed some properties actually were devalued and some were increased, and showing that you had an objective criteria as to how these properties were valued over.
That's in the report. Every single parcel, we show the increase and decrease.
And so you mentioned some factors about topography and wetlands. Can you just talk about a couple of the factors that actually were used to drive value? So was it that it was lakefront or something along those lines?
Well, we had the location, of course, is very important, but the primary thing that we had up in Tuxedo is the topography, especially of the very large lots, how useful they were and what part of each of the parcels were more valuable than other parcels. Where the slope was just too steep and it was total mountainous area, that had a minor value, a base value, but where there were property that could be developed, even though it's not going to be developed, we increased the value on that, and we were able to do that by applying the topographical characteristics of each parcel and outlining them. And also along with the zoning, there's some parcels that were zoned residential, I believe R1, and some R2, and we could do the overlay on that, which made the property a little more valuable depending on the zoning. And also the commercial property that was that's added to the project.
So to clarify in my own mind, the numbers that you mentioned earlier, for example, the town's I think these were all increases to the assessment, the actual tax revenue. So $200,000 for the town, 420 for Monroe Woodbury, 80,000 for Tuxedo Union Free School District. So these were increases based on the additional 13-14 million dollars of assessed value. Is that correct?
Based on the increases, that's correct. Now, if the town doesn't spend any more money, what would happen is the tax rate would go down. But so I used the current tax rate just to illustrate what's going on. And again, this is a process. We don't know if the state's going to approve 100% of what we have. They may only approve 90% of our project, but that's where we are.
Well, thank you. Obviously, this town board was concerned with an investment of $35,000 into this study, but I think if we got anywhere near even 50% of what we were talking about, these would be gains that come in year after year after year after year. So hopefully this proves to generate the kind of increases that we're hoping. So thank you for that.
Well, the big winner, of course, is the Woodbury School District.
Yes.
They're getting the lion's share of the total project because they have the most assessed value that increased.
Well, wouldn't it be great if they could share the cost of this study? But
well, they always say it's the town's responsibility. The school districts always say it's the town's responsibility. I've heard that for the last 30 years. And when you have a fight with the taxpayer, the school district always says it's the town's responsibility. So that's what has been going on for years. But they're the primary beneficiary, and here it paid for Tuxedo to do this also, which is good. And this is, again, a good foundation because the state, with budget cuts and everything, the first place they're going to try to cut is their tax bills. So they may be starting to fight this stuff. There's all kinds of talk that you hear from state officials. A couple of years ago, or actually 2 years ago, they wanted to take the ability of the local town assessor not to assess the parkland. The state wanted to assess their own parkland. So it's very important that we did this now because we have the numbers in. If they change the statute, you'll probably be on a much higher basis. So there's a lot of things going on in Albany. As we all know, there's a budget deficit. So they're very creative in Albany on how they're going to do things. And 2 years ago, just to repeat myself, they floated the idea, two ideas. First, assessing it. And then the other idea the state floated on these properties was to freeze the dollar amount, the tax dollar amount, and go from there. So those are things we have to worry about going into the future. And all town boards, wherever we have these taxable state-owned lands, have to watch and stay on top of these issues. And as I hear them through the New York State Assessors Association and various appraisal groups that I'm involved with, I would tell Jim immediately, and Jim would be on the phone with the supervisor and town board saying, we're opposed to this change immediately because this is a good source of revenue for the town. And to tell you the truth, it doesn't really cost the town a lot of money as far as police, etc., to maintain the state-owned lands. There's other costs, but this is Tuxedo's real rateable state-owned lands.
I guess it's
And by the way, a lot of other towns, Stony Point, Haverstraw, a lot of it in Ramapo, and as you go around, Woodbury also. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, the cost, you're saying there's not much cost, it's opportunity cost, right?
Well, there's always opportunity cost in every piece of vacant land, but at least they're paying taxes.
Right.
Remember, the other parks don't pay taxes. And this act, by the way, goes back to the Depression. This started back during the Depression where they started the PIP and the Jobs Work Program, and there was an assemblyman back in our area years ago. His name was Fred Horn, who had these state properties taxable. Before that, they weren't taxable. And thank God this happened. And this has been a godsend to all the school districts, especially, who take up the lion's share of all the money on the tax base, probably over 70%, no matter where we are. It's been a godsend to the school districts because it doesn't generate children, this property, and it's just like it's a big rateable for them. And it's a good rateable for Tuxedo and all the other communities. So, but we do have to watch out, and I'll shut up after this. The state is looking to cut, okay? They're going to argue universally, not just Tuxedo, but with everybody about values as time goes on. That I can tell you. That's the next thing that's going to happen. Now, I would take the contrarian point of view. As residential values are increasing, land values have to be increasing. But the state will always take the contrarian view that their property is worth nothing. So, okay, that's it for me. I'll answer more questions.
This is Michelle again. I just want to thank you and Jim, and I think this was a great investment on the town board's part to do this for the benefit of our taxpayers. What, in the best of all possible worlds, and maybe in a realistic world, what would be a timetable where residents might see an impact on their tax bills?
The residents, the assessor sets the assessment. The elected people, the school board, and you set the spending. And then we just do the division to come up with the tax rate. But if this all goes well, the school district's going to see the revenue, assuming their budget stays the same. They'll either have a decrease in the tax rate or they'll increase their budget. That's the problem. So if they increase their budget, we won't see a reduction. If they kept the budget the same, we would see a reduction in the tax rate. But the money will be there, the assessment will be there, and that should defray some of the costs. And the same thing with Tuxedo also. If the budget stays the same, tax rate will go down. If the budget goes up, the tax rate, they stay the same, and you can spend a little more money. Town of Stony Point last year, with the increase, even though they increased the budget last year in Stony Point, 7%, increased the tax levy, 7%, and they had a 5% decrease in the tax rate. So there's all combinations and permutations of the formula when you're doing taxes.
Hey, Bill, I think was asked. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was asking
Michelle, to answer your question, I think you were asking when the taxpayer would foresee it would be for school bill in 2021, when the assessment would be for the 2021 assessment roll. This impact would be for next year's taxes.
I'd just like to open the chat. If anyone who's observing this meeting, the easiest way to get your question or comment in would be through the chat. We have a pretty well-attended meeting this evening, and it's very difficult to try to go through microphones. So if you have a chat question, this would be a great time to enter it.
Before we go to the public participating, I just want to make sure the board members have had their questions answered. And I bet Jay and I have been trying to get him unmuted. So first, let me check with Jay to see if he could do that. Oh, it looks like you are unmuted, Jay.
Now I'm unmuted. I don't need my little sign anymore. But other than that, I have no questions. And thank you guys for, I've had a look at the report. It is a genuine dog choking wad of paper, and it's a very impressive effort.
Maria? Oh, Maria, you have to unmute yourself.
Thank you for doing this. I'm really glad that you also explained it, because it was pretty massive, and I'm pretty sure that we can maybe share it in our website or something like that, so people get a chance to see it without having to, download a whole bunch of paper. But it was really great. Thank you so much.
It's a 2-inch report.
Yeah. So that's
I would have said 3.5, but it's massive.
And
I have
at some point in the future, we're probably going to share it with the state and go from there. I probably would put a summary up rather than the whole report up, and we can prepare something I can give to Jim on it. And what I would recommend is that we wait until we get finished negotiating with the state before we put anything up on the site, maybe September, October. We can talk about the project and maybe we can do a little presentation on what we did and go through one property rather than putting the whole report up for, everybody else to look at.
That makes sense.
I see our first chat comment. Question says, is there a top line report that would be for the general public?
Yeah, but we'll prepare something that I'll give to Jim. But again, I think that we should finish with the state before we present anything out to the public.
Then we have another question coming in on the chat.
I see a comment. Monroe Woodbury School District Superintendent gave herself a $21,000 raise a few weeks ago, as reported by News 12, along with $10,000 raises for her assistant superintendent. I guess.
I have no comment on that.
Yes.
Yeah, different venue on a whole number of levels.
I'm just reading the comments. And this is.
Should I open it up to the public to see if anybody or if anybody wants?
I'm hoping that we could do it through the chat if possible. Or if somebody chats and says unmute my microphone, I guess we could try that. So when would the top line be available? I think I can answer that. We were saying we wanted to make it available September, October after we got some feedback from the state. Is that correct?
That's correct. The feedback may be even earlier than that, but that would be the latest.
I guess part of the strategy there is, let's let the state respond.
Correct, and then we'll have a final number.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then I'll put out, we'll do a presentation talking about the whole project and the history of the project and the final results at that point, which I think is better than putting out stuff piecemeal right now.
Maybe we'll be in person then.
One can hope. Comment came back. Thank you. Very good. So we'll wait a couple of seconds, see if there's any more questions coming in through the chat. Again, that's the easiest and best way to get them in. If you could do that, that would be appreciated. And for those of you who are unsure how to do the chat, it should just be in the lower right-hand corner of the screen.
Is this open to the public comments for a second?
On the Beckman appraisal.
Oh, right. Okay. So would we know, like, this will be discussed and put out there September, October, so it might not be in the September tax bill, right? All right. Oh, no.
Well, what I believe we just heard from Jim Davies was if we get the anticipated changes, we don't know to what degree the state may agree to, as it would be in the 2021 tax roll, and Jim could confirm that. I believe that's what we were.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Correct.
2021. That's the hope. They need to respond by then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sure everybody's happy.
Michelle, can you mute me, Michelle?
Oh, you're caller 9. Yep. Gotcha.
Okay, I think I'd like to thank Jim Davies and Beckman Group for this report and work done on it. We look forward to a response, hopefully a very positive response from the state, and to be continued. We'll anxiously be awaiting their response. So I guess, does the state respond to you or to Mr. Beckman, or how does that work?
I'll submit the preliminary numbers and then I send it up to the state and then I'll get feedback from them.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Beckman, thank you so much. And we look forward to chatting again and getting these executive summaries, so to speak, so we can post it when we get a response from the state. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
Thank you.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have about 6 agenda items. Can I get somebody to just read through the agenda items so that we can get public comments on these agenda items? Or have a volunteer from the town?
Sure, I'll do that. We have
Okay.
7 items.
7 items. Thank you, Jay.
Resolution to approve a request for payment from Tuxedo Place LP. A resolution to approve the Onyx and Breezy annual raffle. Resolution to approve refuse truck permits, which would be Sterling Carting and Interstate Waste. Resolution to approve the town clerk training. Resolution to approve the 2021 Warwick Humane Society contract. That is, they handle our arrested animals. There's a different word for it, but I don't remember what it is.
Rescue.
Thank you. Just to go in the back of a truck and get driven to a cage. And petition of relief from the building moratorium law for Itzy's Collision Enterprises. That's all I know of.
Yeah, I think there was the number 4 was missing, so that's why I said 6.
Oh, yeah, you are correct. There are 6 items and 7 numbers.
Right. Lucky
Item
7.
4 was removed.
Okay. So this is time for public comment, and
Let's see. I guess the best way is I'll just unmute all and hopefully we'll
oh god,
I
good luck
know.
with that.
Let's try it this way.
How about raise your hand if you?
Well, we don't have a lot of people don't have their video on, so I think
Someone just raised their hand.
who? Let me see.
Keep your hand up, please. I'm not seeing your name.
Oh, Camille.
Oh, Camille. Sorry, Camille. Thank you.
Okay, Camille, you can unmute yourself. There you go.
Hey, I just want to introduce myself during the public comment. I work for Senator Mike Martucci. I'm his Director of Legislative Affairs. I did actually tune in from to the last meeting through a phone call, but I was lucky enough to get on video and just want you guys to get familiar with me, and when we're back in person, I'll be at the meetings as well. But also, if there's any events or anything happening, just let us know. Senator Martucci, let me not call him Mike. Senator Martucci is in Albany early in the week until session is over, which is when most of the town board meetings are. So I'm going to kind of liaison. Any issues come up, or if you guys need him for anything, just let me know.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you. And on behalf of the town board and the residents of Tuxedo, we absolutely want to welcome you and the senator as our newest representative, and congratulations on his election. We look forward to working together, and I'll look forward to authoring a congratulatory letter and look forward to meeting him personally. So please extend our warmest congratulations, and we look forward to that exchange.
I'll let him know. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Camille.
This is Michelle Lindsay. If you would let me know how I can get in touch with you, because we had, because of COVID, the final approvals for our SAM grant have been delayed, and just want to make sure that doesn't fall through any cracks.
Absolutely. I do also, thank you for bringing that up. We kind of came into an empty, cleaned out office. So if there was anything you guys were working on, just let us know. We're happy to pick the ball up if it got dropped. And just funding is difficult with COVID. So we're kind of waiting to hear back about a lot of them that have been put on hold. So as soon as we get more information, but that's actually been probably the top question I've gotten from all the town boards.
Yeah, I mean, we were just waiting for DASNY final approval, and that's where we're at from the Dormitory Authority of the State of New York.
Yeah, I did reach out to our Albany office, and I'm waiting for them to get back to me with the best contact for DASNY. They are kind of hard to get a hold of. I know the processes are pretty mind-racking, but happy to work with you. And as soon as I get a contact and I can get more information on this, I'll let you guys know.
Okay, so let me know what your email address is, because I have about 5 contacts at DASNY that I am constantly in touch with.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, my email is ObrienC, OBRIENC @nysenate.gov.
Okay. And mine is mlindsay@tuxedogov.org.
Lindsay. How do you spell Lindsay?
LINDSAY.
At Tuxedo.
Gov.org.
Tuxedo.gov.org. All right, fantastic. All right, I look forward to working with you on that.
Okay, super.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Camille.
So again, any comment on the agenda items? We're going to go through them, and if we missed your comment, we'll try to oblige actually during the item discussion. So agenda item number 1 is the Tuxedo Place demand for payment. We have an updated resolution. I don't have it in front of me. If somebody could read it from the board, and we could ask during discussion for an explanation from our counsel, Marissa Weiss. I know is with us.
Should we ask Marissa to introduce it?
Oh, if that's a splendid idea.
Okay. Marissa, you may unmute yourself.
Good evening, everybody. Sorry, I was having technical difficulties with getting on previously, but it seems like it's okay now. So fingers crossed it stays that way. So you have a pilot agreement currently in place with Tuxedo Place, and that's the Promenade Senior Housing Facility. Now it's been in place since 1999. Unfortunately, as the resolution further details, they haven't been paying their fees each year. And one of those things that they have to do in order to figure out what that payment is supposed to be each year is submit some financial information each year. They also haven't been doing that. This is something that I'm not sure if Jim's still on. He's been working on for a very long time as well to try and catalog exactly, what's been missing for the past, decade or plus.
Marissa, can
so
I interrupt just
essentially-
1 second? I think
Sure.
you might need to lean into your microphone a little bit.
Sorry.
I couldn't hear you too well, and I'm
Sure.
not.
Could you not
That's
hear me
much.
at all? I can
That's
repeat
much
that
better.
entirely.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. Technical difficulties tonight clearly are not, gone. But I can repeat very briefly so basically you have a pilot agreement in place.
Which stands for?
Payment in lieu of taxes. Basically, it's a tax incentive structure that you hear about them in the news all the time. A lot of municipalities or different corporations will give a tax incentive to certain entities that come in order so that they pay a certain amount each year instead of those property taxes upfront, because they might not be realizing those gains that they hope to realize 10 years from now, whatever amount the structure of the pilot is going forward. But they pay a lesser amount with the hope that it'll incentivize and give them a financial gain, because we want them to do better. They're doing some sort of public benefit within whatever that municipality is. So in this case, in Tuxedo. So this one is for Tuxedo Place, which is for the Promenade Senior Facility. Unfortunately, I guess you've had this in place since 1999. Jim Davies has been working on this for, I believe, the past couple of months, maybe even years at this point, trying to figure out exactly and cataloging what went wrong. You haven't been receiving payment, unfortunately. And one of the things that they have to do in order for you to figure out how much that payment, that smaller amount instead of the gross property tax amount that they would be charged each year, is they have to submit a bunch of financial information. They also haven't been doing that. So basically, this resolution is to authorize us to go forward, because we did send them a demand letter, which is kind of the first stage to litigation to getting that money from them. To my knowledge, we haven't received a response. That was sent on the 15th. That was 10 days ago. That's typically a time period that we would go through via the statute that's associated with this resolution, and pilots generally, essentially to authorize our office to go forward with litigation. And Kara Cavallo, who is our tax certiorari attorney, is going to be handling that going forward. We previously had tried to work on this prior, when COVID first started, and then kind of, everything fell by the wayside. So this is reauthorizing us to move forward with demanding and hopefully obtaining that missing payment, and we can get that back on track. And I can read the resolution if you would like.
That's okay. Your microphone isn't working that well, so we will, but read it from here. Jim, do you have anything you would like to add?
Basically, we haven't been getting paid based on the agreement for many years, and it's about time we start collecting.
Thank you for working so hard on that.
Thank you.
I think
What's the amount?
We don't know all the amounts because the payment is based on their income and expense reports and their potential gross income divided by the equalization rate. We've only got income from them for the year 2019. This agreement has been in effect since 1999, and I can't find any at all that we've ever collected. But we also have not been given their income statements, which they're supposed to supply based on the agreement.
Okay, understood. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, can everybody hear me a little bit better now?
Yeah.
a
Does that
little
help?
better.
Okay, yeah, I was using AirPods and apparently they're not working. So hopefully this is a little bit better. I will yell. Yeah, so that was some of the financial information that we've demanded within this resolution, as well as payment. We need the payment, for previous years, but going forward, in order to continue this pilot agreement, we also need to receive this financial information in order to accurately assess that fee.
Right. Well, thank you so much. There's a question from the chat, and yeah, obviously we are going through all these things that need to be taken care of. So I think it also will be a lot more clear to everybody as we read through the resolution.
Let's do that. Are you prepared to do that, Michelle?
I could. Okay. Let me know if there's feedback. Can everybody hear me all right?
You sound pretty clear for everybody.
Oh, okay.
It's silent.
I kind of hear some feedback. Okay.
Anybody who's in the audience, could you please mute your microphone? Thank you.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to mute people and then unmute myself. Okay. All right. Whoops. What happened? Sorry. Okay. You can hear me, right? Okay. Okay. It's long, so bear with me. Whereas the town of Tuxedo engaged in an agreement for payment in lieu of taxes, pilot, the acronym, on August 24th, 1999 with Tuxedo Place LP, a New York limited partnership doing business in the town of Tuxedo and having its principal place of business at 608 Mountainside Drive, Southfields, New York. And whereas the pilot agreement provides that each year Tuxedo Place LP shall provide to the town assessor its annual audited financial statements no later than March 1st, which the assessor will use to calculate the assessment for the following year based upon the following agreed formula. I don't know if I need to go through the formula, but basically Jim explained it. It's their income and expenses and then the equalization rate. Okay, notes. One, expenses. Oh, let's see. Oh, this is just a note to the formula. Expenses are defined as actual expenses of operating property less real property taxes. Whereas payment of the calculated tax obligation is required to be made within the grace period for payment of taxes without penalty in accordance with law. And whereas Tuxedo Place LP has not provided to the town assessor its annual audited financial statements. And whereas Tuxedo Place LP has not paid the amounts due to the town under the pilot agreement and has been and remains delinquent in its payment of payments in lieu of town real property taxes due to the town under the pilot agreement. And whereas the town, having sent notice through its legal counsel to Tuxedo Place LP dated January 15, 2021, advising Tuxedo Place LP that it was delinquent in its payments to the town under the pilot agreement. And whereas Tuxedo Place LP, having failed to bring its account current and make payment in full of all unpaid payments in lieu of town taxes, together with interest, arrears, and penalties thereon. And whereas of the date of this resolution, payment has not been received from Tuxedo Place LP. And whereas the town believes that it is incumbent upon it to enforce the terms of pilot agreement, given that all taxpayers have obligations to pay their taxes on time and in the full amounts owed. And whereas pursuant to paragraph 4A of the pilot agreement, if any payment to be made is not timely made, the town may make demand for payment of all sums due, including interest and penalties. And whereas if payment is not made within 10 days of receipt of said demand, then the obligation and liability shall be the same as upon a promissory note in default. Wherefore, it is hereby resolved that the town hereby demands full payment of all payments representing payments in lieu of town real property taxes heretofore unpaid, together with interest and penalties within 10 days of the receipt of this resolution. And be it further resolved that upon Tuxedo Place LLP's default in payment, the town hereby authorizes its counsel to take legal action to enforce the payment of past obligations, together with late fees, penalties, interest, and attorney fees as provided under the pilot agreement and under the law. Do I have a second? I make that motion. Do I have a second?
Sure, I'll second that.
Okay, Jay Reichgott, second. And discussion.
Yeah, I'll start in some discussion. I have two questions. This hinges on 10 days after a demand for payment. So when is the demand for payment going to be made? It's question one.
Okay, I think if I read that last place, let me read the second to last paragraph. Resolved that the town hereby demands full payment of all payments representing pilot within 10 days of the receipt of this resolution. So I guess, we pass the resolution, we deliver it to them. So I would say within 10 days of 2 or 3 days from now would be my guess.
With respect, Marissa, is that correct? And you're on mute.
Unmuted.
Marissa, can you unmute
Unmuted.
yourself, Marissa?
That's correct.
Okay.
That is correct. Okay, which leads me to question number two. We're going to make a demand for payment. How much are we telling them? I mean, do we know what we're asking for, or are we just going to say, pay us what you owe us?
Maybe Jim can answer that, or Marissa?
I did send some preliminary numbers with penalties to Kara. It was going back towards to 2011. That's as far back as my rates went that were on me at the time. So we did come up with some numbers going back to 2011. We still have to figure out the numbers prior to that.
Okay, but we have a number that we're going to send.
Yeah, which was, well, I believe it might have been already said.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Question for me, Dave. So I see we're making a demand for payment within this resolution. Has there ever been any other prior resolutions that have demanded payment? I'm kind of wondering how we were over 20 years here without collecting anything, and this is the first time I'm seeing it. So just wondering how that happens.
Dave, I've dug and I can't find anything.
Okay.
Can you unmute yourself?
I think I am unmuted. Did you?
Yes.
Thumbs up. Okay, thank you. Well, obviously, we're trying to get a response here. I think that's probably the most realistic next step, that we get a response. And of course, we're demanding payment in 10 days, but as has been pointed out, we've been waiting for payment since 1999. So obviously, if we get a response, there'll be some kind of a negotiated communication. So, but I mean, you have to poke the lion to get a roar, and this is the first poke, I would imagine. Here, I think we've actually communicated with them already and didn't get a response. So this is obviously a sharper stick that we're using here by this demand for payment. Is that how you would interpret this, Marissa?
Correct, yeah. I know that we have spoken with them previously and it really, like you said, didn't go anywhere. So this is the stronger interim step before we have to take stronger action, which may be to pursue litigation. So hopefully it doesn't get to that, but.
So hopefully we'll get a response and we'll start a dialogue about what our perceptions are of what's owed, what our records demonstrate, and try to come up with an agreement that also looks to the future, that ensures timely payment of this pilot payment in lieu of taxes on a regular basis, so that this can be put to rest.
It's just one more thing, Ken. So if I don't pay my taxes on my residence, the town can essentially take my property and sell it at auction. Could that be a remedy for this as well?
Most likely not, actually. I believe it's 4 or 5 years if you don't pay your taxes and it continues to get re-levied. The county takes title. I don't think it would have to be written in the pilot agreement, I would assume. This is a very rare occasion, what's going on here.
Okay, so just because it's a pilot, Jim, that's what you mean? Because it's already not something that they would have automatically paid. They made an agreement to pay it.
Yeah.
And now they're in arrears for that agreement. Okay, got you. Thank you.
Jim, how long is the pilot agreement with them? Because I know that there are times where they're like, a certain amount of years. Is this one like forever or is...
I believe it goes to 2035.
Oh my God.
I could be wrong, but it's 2030s, definitely.
Okay.
So again, I think.
I have one more question.
Please go ahead.
As I was reading it, I was thinking, I got to ask this. So one of the sentences in the resolution says, whereas if payment is not made within 10 days of receipt of said demand, then the obligation and liability shall be the same as upon a promissory note in default. So it's basically saying they're in default, but what does that mean?
I think that one's for Marissa.
That's Marissa.
Yeah, so it's talking about it, how, if you default on your mortgage, so it's a promissory note for your property. So it's essentially saying that the same liability falls upon the owners of that property in order to pay it. With kind of how Jim was talking about with Dave before, how the county would levy that information later on.
So what's the penalty, the ultimate penalty here for not paying?
I believe we estimated it at around 2% per year.
No, Jim, I meant, so if they just remain unresponsive and we go through this for another 5 years, what remedy do we have? The normal one is off the table, so.
I would recommend putting them on the tax roll and not, if they're not agreeing to our agreement, neither should we, and we should make them fully taxable and be put on the town roll. So then if they don't pay their taxes, then the county can take it over. If we put it on the roll, we're pretty much guaranteed to get paid, I would assume, but then we're breaking the agreement.
Okay, I see. Yeah, it's complicated.
Yeah, we have to go through a bunch, because it's a pilot, we have to go through a bunch of these steps, like this demand, and then authorizing us to do another demand, and then going forward with litigation before we can go any further.
This is
what we would typically do, yeah. It
Okay.
wasn't a pilot, yeah.
Understood. Nothing further from me.
Nothing further from me.
I'm good. Thank you.
All right, I have a second from Jay Reichgott, so I'll take the roll call vote. Ken English,
Aye.
Dave McMillan,
Aye.
Maria May,
Aye.
Jay Reichgott,
Aye.
self, Michelle Lindsay. Aye. Okay.
Moving down to the Anxi and Breezy raffle. This is an annual raffle to raise money for the Onyx and Breezy Foundation to fund spay and neuter programs and rescue animals from high kill shelters. I'd like to make a motion that the town board of the town of Tuxedo does hereby consent to allow the sale of raffle tickets in the town of Tuxedo by the Anxi and Breezy Foundation during the 2021 calendar year in accordance with Section 189, Subdivision 13 of the General Municipal Law. Do I have a second?
I'd be happy to second that.
I believe I heard a second by Dave McMillan.
You did, sir.
Thank you, sir. Open to discussion, town board members?
This is an annual approval, and it's a great little raffle for a great cause.
No questions.
Nothing here.
Nothing from me. All right, I'd like to do a roll call vote. We'll start with Michelle Lindsay,
Aye.
Maria May,
Aye.
Dave McMillan,
Aye.
Jay Reichcott,
Aye.
and myself, Ken English. Aye. Thank you all. That motion was passed unanimously. Agenda item number 3, refuse truck permits. We have 2 companies in Tuxedo seeking these permits, Interstate Waste and Sterling Carting. I'll read the motion. A motion will be made by I'll introduce a motion by myself, Ken English, that the application for refuse collection license by the following companies is hereby approved through December 31st, 2021. That will be Interstate Waste Services Incorporated, which has a total of 27 vehicles and will pay a fee, or has paid a fee of $5,400. Sterling Carting Incorporated has 4 vehicles and will pay $800. So it's $200 per vehicle. Is there a second on this motion, please?
I'll second.
Seconded by Maria May. Discussion, questions?
None here.
None here.
Nope.
I had a conversation with Marissa about this. This is a standard fee that these vehicles are charged. And obviously, these are 2 companies under contract with both the town of Tuxedo, Interstate Waste, and the villages of Tuxedo Park for Sterling Carting. Obviously, these trucks need to do their job, and this is a service fee that goes to the town. So that's how I understand it to be. And Marissa, if you wanted to add anything to that, both Marissa Weiss or Marissa Dolbaum, I think that's what this is all about. And
Covered it, Ken. The town just requires a licensing fee for any towing.
thank you, Marissa. Okay. Is there
And
any-
this is for waste services, Marissa.
Right.
Waste services, correct?
So it sounds like we're ready to take a roll call vote. I'll start again with Michelle Lindsay,
Aye.
Maria May,
Aye.
Dave McMillan,
Aye.
Jay Reichcott,
Aye.
and I heard that. And myself, Ken English, aye. Refuse truck permit issue passed unanimously. Our 4th item, town clerk training. This is a virtual training, a cost of only $100 this year. This is so the town clerk will be allowed to attend the town clerk training held virtually from February 14th to February 17th. I believe this is an Association of Towns training. but I'm not 100% sure about that. But at the $100 fee, obviously this is a modest fee to continue education for our town clerk. And I'm going to make a motion. Can I get a second?
Second, Michelle.
Seconded by Michelle Lindsay. Open for discussion or questions, town board members.
I don't have a question on this, but I'm wondering if the annual Association of Towns meeting will also be held in February and that we could all participate in.
Virtually, I would imagine. And we'll check the website and we'll certainly find out before the next meeting. Unless somebody wants to check it out right now, that's fine too. But again, as far as this motion goes, I don't think we have any further discussion, so I'll take a roll call vote. Michelle Lindsay,
Aye.
Maria May,
Aye.
Dave McMillan,
Aye.
Jay Reichcott,
Aye.
and myself, Ken English, aye. So the town clerk training has been approved. And agenda item number 5, Warwick Humane Society 2021 contract. I'll read the motion and then we'll have discussion. I will be making a motion that the town board hereby authorizes to enter into an agreement with the Warwick Valley Humane Society for animal control services for the period January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2021. I'll make the motion, seconded by
Dave.
I'll second.
Dave
Oh,
McMillan. He beat you to it, Maria.
yeah.
Seconded by Dave McMillan. Open the floor for discussion. Well, I'd like to start the discussion. I was speaking with Marissa Dolbaum about this. This seems to be an a la carte agreement, as only pay as we go. If an animal is rescued or housed at the Warwick Society, we have a standard fee structure that we pay. Marissa said it's not very highly used. Of course, it's as needed. So again, if there's no services used, we don't pay anything. So that's how that goes. And Marissa Dolbaum, please chime in if I got any of that wrong.
No, that's all correct.
Thank you.
So the fees in the letter, it says their per diem boarding fee for dogs has been increased to $20 per day from $15. And the cats, let's see, is $100 for veterinary expenses per cat or kitten.
All right, so this is an interesting topic. So something I've never been able to figure out. So let's talk about it for just a second. I don't want to beat it to death, but so when we had our own animal control officer, and Ken, I think we need to clarify that this is replacing that first. Secondly, when we're paying that position, whatever it paid, I'm not sure what the number was, doesn't make it matter. We have the truck on the road. When the control officer picks up an animal, they still brought it to the Warwick Humane Society. I'm going to assume, and this is a question because I don't know, were these same rates in effect at the same time when we brought an animal there? And in addition to that, we were paying an animal control officer, right? So these guys are going to do the capture of the animals too, or is this a whole different thing?
No, to my understanding, this is just the same arrangement that had been in effect. That this is just a boarding, so to speak, agreement.
Gotcha. So that answers. So so it was confusion for me there.
Right. Now we still have this open position at animal control that, you know, I was speaking with Marissa just about, and Michelle about this today. This is still an ongoing search and discussion for the town board. I'll take it up with all members during the week.
All right. Thank you. I've never seen the document before, so that's why I'm asking. So thanks for clarifying.
Well, thank you. And you know, obviously it's an arrangement with the only game in town, Warwick. So it's not like we could barter on the on the fees. So
I totally agree. I was just trying to straighten out my own line of thought on it. So thank you.
No, thank you.
And that's all I had.
Thank you. Any further discussion on this item? Okay, I'd like to make a motion, did I get a second? I'm sorry, I think I did. Right?
For me,
Yeah, okay, Maria seconded that. All right, so we're gonna take a roll call vote on this. I'll start again with Michelle Lindsay,
Aye.
Maria May.
Aye.
Dave McMillan,
Aye.
Jay Reichcott,
Aye.
and myself, Ken English, aye. Thank you. The sixth issue and last agenda item, petition of relief from the building moratorium local law, Itzy's Collision Enterprises. Our counsel, Marissa Weiss, emailed an updated resolution, and I think I'm going to ask Marissa Weiss to just give us a little background on this resolution, please, Marissa.
Sure. So can everybody hear me first? Good?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. So ITSES has been before, or has appeared at least initially before the planning board, in order to get a site plan amendment to reopen and add some additional parking, as well as I believe some fencing and some other site improvements to the existing auto body at that site. I do believe that the engineer or the surveyor, I'm not sure, Mike Neal, is on right now, so I'm sure he could answer any questions as to the project specifics if the board has it. But that sort of site plan approval, and there may be some ancillary ZBA variances that are needed, from my understanding. Currently, you have the moratorium on development approvals while the town board continues to review the proposed rezoning efforts that should be culminating, in the next couple of months. We just reauthorized via resolution at the last meeting in December. What date was that? December 26th. An additional 3-month period on the moratorium in order to provide and update the zoning code so that you don't have some people trying to get all their applications in between the period between the old zoning and the new zoning. So that's usually the point of our moratoriums going forward, and that's something that happens in every town. We've had it going on for the past, I would say, year and a half at this point. But unfortunately, when that happens, that kind of puts a stop to any applications going forward before any of the boards at this point. So they need to come and request moratorium relief from the town board before they can reappear at those other board meetings, including the planning board and ZBA. So that's what ITSES has applied for. They have submitted under our moratorium local law. You basically submit an application and some information in order to get that relief from the town board, which they have done. So I did draft a resolution that kind of goes through the reasons for that moratorium relief request, as well as details exactly what the moratorium says and why they cannot proceed without the town board's action. So if you would like me to read through this, I can. If anybody has any questions before we do that, we can also do that as well.
Your mic is still a little bit challenged. Now I hear a lot of background noise. If someone else might be able to read it, although I know I can hear Marissa pretty well. Is that okay, Michelle? I'm not sure.
It's a little iffy. Let's see if you have the, like, I'm trying, oh, Jay, that's you. If you could read it, that would be great.
I don't have it in front of me.
Oh, I thought you did. Okay.
I got it in front of me, and so I can read it if you like.
That would be great. Thanks.
There you go. Whereas, no, I'm sorry, you volunteered for this one. The town board adopted on May 27th, 2020, a local law entitled Moratorium on Development Approvals, which local law temporarily suspends requirements to approve developments except for certain specified development applications while the town considers and adopts changes to its land use regulations. And whereas this moratorium and the terms and conditions of the moratorium local law was extended via resolution for an additional 3-month period beginning on December 26th, 2020, whereas the town of Tuxedo notes that the town has received a moratorium waiver petition for administrative relief to pursue an amended site plan for an existing auto repair business located at 1027 New York 17, Southfield's SBL number 5-4-9, hereafter the applicant, and Whereas the board finds that pursuant to Section 4 of the moratorium local law, this petition includes clear and convincing evidence that the applicant's current use is permitted under the current and proposed zoning, that a site plan amendment could enhance the property, the board allows the applicant to proceed with the amended site plan review at the town planning board, and or pursue the identified bulk area variances as may be needed at the town zoning board of appeals, and that, without being allowed to pursue said development approvals, that the applicant would be caused irreparable financial injury. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Town of Tuxedo, in compliance with Section 4 of Local Law 3-2020, exempts the applicant from the moratorium on development, directs that the applicant is now permitted to proceed to the Town Planning Board and or Zoning Board of Appeals to apply for the required development approvals. And I guess I've made the motion, so could I have a second?
Second, Jay.
Thank you, Dave. Any discussion?
Well, I did just find something, so this is a question for Marissa. In some minutes that we were just sent today, it was noted that the seeker requirement might need to be fulfilled prior to the applicant's appearance before the town board. So I don't know. That's.
I think typically, I'm not on mute. I think typically when we've had our moratorium requests in the past that we have just deferred to whatever board they are going to be appearing before, whether that be the planning board or the ZBA, or in this case, both. That's my understanding anyway. And whoever is going to be functioning as the lead agency is the one who takes the seeker action. That's typically how we've done it in the past.
Okay. All right.
Am I able to comment, ma'am?
Sorry.
Please.
Oh, I'm Mike Mealy. I'm the engineer for the applicant. We pretty much went through this process when it was CNE Auto Body. It's pretty much almost the same plan. And after we got moratorium relief, then we started with the planning board, and then the planning board took lead agency. And we pretty much almost took it all the way to the end, but there was an issue with the owner giving approval for the application. That's why the deal fell through, and then they ended up selling it now to the new owner. So we're pretty much back in the same place we were, I don't know, I guess like 2 years ago, with pretty much the same plan. And we had a preliminary meeting with the planning board and kind of went over that it's pretty much the same plan again, and had a very, very good meeting. And it's kind of formality that we just go through this step, and then we can move to them and then subsequently start with the ZBA also.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Yeah, I knew I remembered that from somewhere. Yeah, so the planning board will then take lead agency action.
So a question for Mike. So this property previously was operating as an auto body and had a site plan that you said is almost similar to the one you have now. I'm going to take it that site plan approval had expired because of the 1 year that went by without the use of the property being an auto body?
Giving you the brief history, Chris and Emma, CNE Auto Body, who operated it for a while, they started getting their use bigger. They were parking more cars there, which was violating their original site plan, which I believe was an auto body, but then the number of cars that they were allowed to keep there went down to like 6, and they obviously needed more. I was actually speaking with the building inspector today, and we believe the reason it went down to 6 was because it wasn't sprinklered, because of the painting they were using. Needless to say, they've changed the type of paint that they're using, and CNE applied for the new site plan. So we developed it. We pretty much we went through all the comments with Sean Hoffman. We pretty much got it to an approvable state, but in the beginning, they did not have an owner's authorization. And I believe the Vacchionis at the time didn't realize that they had gone this far and kind of weren't willing to sell it. I mean, weren't willing to sign it. Then they kind of negotiated buying it. It just didn't work out. So CNE ended up leaving. They went up to Maybrook. It sat vacant for a while. And then the new owner came in and is pretty much trying to do the exact same thing, which in essence was very easy for me. It's pretty much the exact same plan. So we're pretty much, like I said, exactly where we were. It's just now we're just with a new owner. That's all.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Sure.
Well, the 6-car limit was for any car left overnight on the property.
I don't have the old resolution up, but I think it's something like that. So our new plan has a certain number of cars, for parking, a certain number for, that are being worked on. And the chairman wanted that the chairman of the planning board wanted that very specifically dictated on the plan, obviously before any kind of approval moving forward.
I think it's important to remember that our action tonight has got nothing to do with approving how many cars or what they're doing or any of those things. This is just the procedural step required to let them go to planning or zoning appeals, work through the plan and all the necessary conditions to make that happen or not happen.
Correct. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that clarification.
Well, I'd just like to say, as town supervisor, Mike, certainly we welcome new business to the town of Tuxedo. And we look forward to working, through the planning board. Our vision for Tuxedo is to improve the aesthetics of Southfields. And we hope that through the planning board, the new owner would join us in that goal of making all our businesses and our corridor on Route 17, something we can all be proud of. So we look forward to seeing that plan and development and welcoming the new owners to the town of Tuxedo.
Thank you. And he's actually going a little above and beyond. We're even offering to do like more of the landscaping. He wants it to look nice too. So obviously, nicer appearance, nicer property, more business. So I don't think anyone will be disappointed at the final product when it's finally approved.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Any further discussion from town board members?
None here, Ken.
Not for me.
Mr. Reichcott?
I have none except to suggest that we police up open mics because we're starting to get complaints about the crosstalk and echoes.
Okay, if we could just keep town board members active and our attorney, Marissa, that would be great.
That is all I see,
Okay.
hardly enough.
We could all also work our own mute buttons, but don't do it yet because we're about to take a roll call vote. We did get a second, right? I believe we did that.
I seconded, Ken.
Seconded by Dave McMillan. Okay, I'm sure Marissa Dolbaum captured all that. So ready for the roll call vote. I'll keep the same lineup. Michelle Lindsay.
Aye.
Maria May.
Aye.
Dave McMillan.
Aye.
Jay Reichcott.
Aye.
And myself, Ken English. Aye. Passed unanimously. And that was our sixth and final agenda item, I believe. We did have some other business that came in late today. I think we're moving along rather nicely. So I'd like to consider this other business. It has to do with our annual towing license permit resolution approving towing licenses. I'll read the resolution and then we can open it for discussion. Resolved motion that will be made by myself, seconded in a moment, that the applications for towing licenses submitted by the following businesses having received approval of Detective Stephen Christian are hereby approved through December 31st, 2021. I will read the different businesses. It's Loyal Tire and Auto Center in Monroe, New York. Apple Automotive, Monroe, New York. NJV Auto in Sloatsburg, New York. Harriman Auto in Harriman, New York. And Harriman Auto doing business as Cars, C-A-R-S in Harriman, New York. Do I have a second to consider this resolution?
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilperson Maria May. I'd like to open the floor to questions and discussion by town board members. I had one question. Oh, go ahead, Jay. Please go ahead.
Sorry. if I understand correctly, these guys and or gals have all been vetted by the police department, and is that correct?
That's my understanding. Yes, it does mention here approval by Detective Stefan Christian.
Okay.
My
Thanks.
question was, and I spoke with Marissa Dolbaum about this, about these applicants. Of course, we want to make sure that Tuxedo businesses are represented in this lineup. And I was told that there was no submission from a Tuxedo business. I'm thinking mostly about the Tuxedo Gulf Station. And I was told that there was no applicant submission by any business in Tuxedo. So I wanted to point that out. So I understand this is on some kind of a rotation basis. How these towing companies are contacted, and I think they just go through a rotation, and probably has something to do with the location of the accident. But
Yeah, it's routed through OC 911. They're the ones who rotate our list.
okay, so I don't have any further questions.
I don't either.
I guess the only other question maybe I would have for Marissa is there a fee associated with this for the town? Marissa Dolbaum?
Yes, there is a fee, which they submitted their payment to my office.
Is it just a flat fee type thing?
Per
Same.
vehicle, yes, I believe it's two.
Oh, per vehicle for each tow truck that they would have?
Yes.
Probably, it sounds similar to what we approved for the refuse truck permits. And would you happen to know, Marissa, what that fee is per truck? Is it the same as the refuse truck permit of $200?
No, I do not believe it's that high. I would have to look at their applications. I could find that for you in just a minute.
That's fine. I don't think it would hinder us from moving this forward, though. Because I'm not suggesting that we change this fee schedule in any way at this time. So, Marissa will add that information, but again, if there's no further discussion, I'd just like to move the motion forward. Do I have a second? Did I ask for a second? I think with that, Maria, sorry. It's late in the day for me. We have a seconded by Maria. I'll do the roll call vote. Start again with Michelle Lindsay.
Aye.
And Maria May.
Aye.
Dave McMillan.
Aye.
Jay Wright-Scott.
Aye.
And myself, Ken English, aye. Okay, so that was the hidden seventh item that we got in there. Okay, I think we're ready for department updates. I know that we have Rob Dolbaum on the line. I know we have Dave Makish on the line, and Marissa Dolbaum, and I don't know if we have anybody from the police here tonight. But let's start with Robert Dolbaum. Robert, he was caller number 5, I believe.
Yep, I sent a request. You can unmute yourself now. There you go. You're unmuted.
Am I unmuted? Yes.
You
Good evening,
are.
everybody.
Hi, Rob.
Hope everybody's well. Let's see, the town highway department, as most everybody knows, we're involved in our tree work at this time of year. We're working still on Southgate Road. Hopefully another week or so we'll have Southgate completed, and moving on to Eagle Valley, the emergency fire road, and head north. Anyway, electronic recycling is up until the end of the month. So if you have anything that you want to get in, no TVs, no monitors, but anything else that you want to get rid of, recycling for electronics, computers, batteries, air conditioners, what have you, bring it to the highway garage. We're taking them till the end of January, and that closes down till next year. Getting ready for snow in a little bit. We've been lucky this year so far, and let's keep our fingers crossed it keeps going. But working on the equipment, getting everything going. Working on the rock pile. Started separating the rock pile again. I have 2 seasonal employees, that are experienced and ambitious rock separators, believe it or not. So we've been moving along pretty good with that. There's a bonfire down at, and Sherry, I don't know if Sherry's on, but she can speak to this. There's a bonfire down at the powerhouse. I believe it's on the 6th. We are flooding the basketball court for ice skating. And I'd like to just say kudos to Jim Davies. What a great job he's doing. And that's all I got.
Thank you, Rob.
Okay.
I think we have up next David Makish. I think we identified him on caller 4.
Dave Makish, you can unmute yourself now. I hear you. We're good. Yep, you're unmuted, Dave.
Is that a *6 unmute on a phone?
No, he's *4 unless he changed.
No, he's caller. I meant to unmute himself. Is that a *6?
Oh, yeah.
When you're from a phone?
No, he is on. Oh, he was unmuted. What happened? Okay.
Caller
Yes.
4 shows.
*6. Dave, on your phone.
Don't
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, not too many updates from the building department. We, the man with the cars, the Southfields, he had to cancel his meeting this week. He did say he got rid of 2 more cars. It's an ongoing situation. And, obviously the 2 subjects which I bring up each meeting, when you guys get to them, are the light pollution and the garbage cans on weekends. But other than that, I don't really have anything else.
Thank you. Marissa Dolba.
Hey, everyone. So just to clarify with the towing license permit, the application is $500, the fee for the company to apply. So it is not per vehicle. That's just for the garbage truck.
Thank you.
And also, Michelle, to answer your question about the training, it is through the Association of Towns, and it will be held virtually as well for all town board members in February, those same dates.
Oh, the same dates. Great.
Yep. And I have more information, and they have a tentative itinerary that I can email to the board if anyone is interested in signing up.
Excellent.
Wanted to give a brief update on the vaccine. I know a lot of people have been calling to see if we are getting any information. I did post a link on our website, and unfortunately, many people are realizing that you can see if you're eligible. However, there are not many places nearby that have them available. I checked today, and the closest is Potsdam or Plattsburgh, which is almost 400 miles away. So I know that's not realistic, but I am checking every day, and if I get any updates, I will certainly share them with everyone. And that's all I have for this evening.
I'm not sure, Marissa, I'm not sure how we get this information, but I was told this morning that Pomona in Rockland County had a large number of vaccines mailed to them. So I don't know if there's any way for us. I didn't get a chance to look at it when I got home, but it might be good if we can find out if people, apparently there's not like a one place that takes you everywhere. But apparently they got the most allocations of vaccine in all of Rockland County. So that might be, if I find that information, we'll put it in the website. I'll share it with you.
Thank you.
Well, did we put up the link to the MI eligible form you have to fill out? That's as an AM. Okay, good. So that should, if you are eligible, then the next step is that you will be sent to locations.
Yeah,
Well,
signing
yes,
up there.
but
Sorry, Jay.
No, go ahead.
It'll at least allow you can put in an email address or a cell phone, and state is supposed to be alerting you when there are doses available. And so at least that's a way to not sign up for an appointment necessarily, but at least hopefully get alerts when something does become available.
Yes, but be aware that even the places that do have appointments available, like 4 hours away, have them available in March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't throw away your masks yet.
Marissa, it's Michelle. When you get the information about the Association of Towns annual meeting and their agenda, if you would please forward to Deborah so she could send to all the chairs of the zoning, planning, and Board of Assessment review, because they have training available during the AOT meeting.
Yes, I will send that to her.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Well, I'd like to build off of Jay's comment about don't throw your masks away. COVID is not going away anytime soon. Several residents and even employees of Tuxedo have tested positive recently. And as a result, I'm working with employees at Town Hall to figure out how we can continue to maintain services, but also to protect the public and employees. So employees are signing up for testing. I took a test last week. Fortunately, it came back negative. No detectable virus. And I'll be working with employees at Town Hall to figure out what kind of messaging we need to give the public as to how we can continue to serve their needs. But again, we'll probably have to go back to a more appointment-based services and, continue with people who need services for buildings department, town supervisor, recreation through the second floor back entrance and first floor for the court and town clerk's office. This is a plan in development. So people have to understand as different test results come back, and follow the guidance of Orange County Health Department, will respond accordingly. So to be continued, and we hope to get notices up on the town board's website tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
But I don't know if anyone from the police department joined us, so I will unmute all just for the purpose of if there is someone from the police department. So this is just only for the police department right now. So I'm unmuting everybody.
Tuxedo Police Department.
There you are.
Caller 7, it looks like.
I hope everyone is well.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Hey, one, as far as signing up or info on COVID vaccines, you can go to the New York State website, Department of Health, and they will give you two things. What's open that you can make an appointment at, and then you'll have to make an appointment. Appointments are probably out, yes, more than a few weeks. And right now there are two things open. It's Field House at SUNY Potsdam, as well as a airport building at SUNY Plattsburgh. So, yeah, you're going to have difficulties with that. Two, we are having a snowstorm tomorrow with probably some icing. I'm going to ask everybody, please be careful. If you don't need to be out, please don't be out so that we can get our highways cleaned up. Thank God for Mr. Dolbaum and the rest of his crew. We're going to be working hard tomorrow, and we'll be out as well. But please get your vehicles off the road so we can get the place cleaned up. Stay off the road if you can so that no one gets hurt. Outside of that, I don't think, towing permits, towing permits are a yearly appointment for the individuals interested, and we keep that list to basically get disabled, car accidents, things of that nature off the highway. Outside of that, I don't think we have anything else for you.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Does Brian have a report? Brian? Nope. No.
Yep.
Not today.
Here you are, Brian.
Not today.
Okay, thank you.
Well, we're working with our auditors from Cooper Arias, and I know Michelle and I will be working with Brian during the week.
How about Claire is on with Rob Dolbaum? Claire, do you have a report?
Hi guys, Happy New Year.
Hi Claire.
I just wanted to let you hi. I just wanted to let you know we did start credit cards last month. We're doing very well. We did over $16,000 between both judges. It's eliminating the foot traffic in the town hall. We're continuing doing plea-by-mails with attorneys, and hopefully we'll be working on defendants. The court appearances are closed. We're scheduling right now from 3 to 6 months. As far as going to the bank, it's really inconvenience. The cash has to be in the bank within 72 hours. So we're going to the bank 2 times a week. It takes over an hour just to go to the bank. And that's pretty much it. But as far as the credit cards go, it's going very, very well. As far as the Tuxedo Chase Bank is definitely closing in March.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
I know. So, with the cash having to be in the bank within 72 hours, Patty goes 1 day a week and I go 1 day a week, but it's nothing but a job. Just if we go to Suffern, it's traffic. If we go up the road, it takes a little longer. But we're doing what we have to do. But just to let you guys know, the credit cards online is really working out very, very well. Yeah, so that's about it.
That's great news. 21st century. Here we are.
Over $16,000 in 1
That's
month.
great. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's all good.
Thank you so much. Okay, I think that's it for department updates. Time for some public comments. Michelle, work your diva magic to see how you. I would hope if people can queue through the chat, that would be very helpful. Why don't we start with that? Okay, Michelle,
I know. Well, here's what we'll try. Well, I'll try to unmute all and just, I guess, we'll see how it goes. And hopefully once one person starts speaking, then if you could just wait your turn. Okay.
Hey, Michelle.
Yes.
Michelle, can you hear me? Rob here. Can you
Hi,
mute
Rob.
me?
I will
you can
mute
mute yourself, can't
Sure.
you? No,
I did. Okay. I did it. Okay, now everybody else can unmute themselves. Let me try one more thing. Let me try unmute all. And we'll see what happens.
No, it says you can unmute yourself.
Yes.
Right.
So if you're on the phone, it's *6, and if you're on the computer, you just click on the mute button at the bottom to unmute yourself. Or you can actually press the space bar. It will unmute you as well if you're on the computer.
Hi, Michelle. It's Irene.
Hi, Irene.
I just want to say the last few town board meetings, it's really been a mind-blowing as far as information and things that have been neglected for so long in this town. It's unbelievable. And I just want to say thank you to this town board and to Ken for working so hard to uncover these issues and dealing with them. I know you guys work really hard, and I mean, it shows for itself. That's what I want to say. Thank you. I appreciate you all for working on all these issues that it's unbelievable. I don't know how this town did business before. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Irene. Well, on that happy note, Ken?
I was just trying to give a pause to see if anybody else.
All right.
Yeah, it's me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, question for Jay really fast. He said nothing, no updates, and I took that to mean no updates on the dam issue. I'm assuming no revised plan handed in. Am I correct?
That is correct. This is Jay. I mean, any
hi, Jay.
plan will be handed in as part of fulfilling the requirements for receiving final site plan approval. It's really at this point only a planning board issue. The town really has no jurisdiction over these things. We made it part of the site plan approval requirement. The planning board did. I'm sure that when they get something, we'll be notified about it, but it is not a in the next several days kind of time frame.
Right. Any idea what the time frame is? I mean,
I
months?
do not. That would be a question
know.
for
Yeah.
that would be
Okay.
a question for the planning board.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if John can answer, but I do know the last time this was brought up, he hadn't received the information he needed to sign off on the final site plan. John, if you would like to add to that, but I think it's just nothing's come in for the planning board to review.
Right. Okay. Thank you. I will keep on.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. I'll check the planning board calendar is what I'll do also.
Okay.
I'm taking the silence to mean all from the public who wanted to be heard have been heard. And I think we've dealt with any other business that came before the town board. That was the issue of the towing license permits. Unless anyone else from the town board had anything that wasn't mentioned previously. Nope. Oh, I see a lot of that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to turn the closing over to Maria because she closed us out with a bang last time and ever popular adjournment.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So I make a motion to adjourn our meeting at 8:52 p.m. Do I have a second?
Second, Michelle.
Then let's take the vote. Kenneth English,
Aye.
Michelle Lindsay,
Aye.
David McMillan,
Aye.
Maria May, aye, and Jay Reichcott.
Aye.
So the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.
Please stay safe. COVID infection is still circulating, and be well.
Tomorrow.
As the lieutenant said, watch out for the snow.
You too, Ken. Take
I
care,
think we
guys.
just got
Thank you, guys.
thing for tomorrow.
Oh, we got a notice, Maria? Who'd that come from?
Weak. The kids these days, they're weak.
All right.
Maria, you don't get any snow days anymore because of COVID, huh?
We go remote.